Hi guys, today we're going to go over how to make your husband absolutely adore you. We're going to go through 5 different tips and make sure that you stick around because the last tip is literally the golden nugget, if you will. It is absolutely the best tip, the one that every man wants. So let's just go ahead and get right into them. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is maintain your independence. So a lot of people think that it can be cute to be dependent on your spouse. My cat's trying to get in here. To be dependent on your spouse, but in reality, sure, we need them for certain things and it's good to feel needed, but at the same time, it can feel overwhelming when you have a partner that is just all about needing you. It becomes somewhat of a stressor. It's like having a kid, right? Or a baby that is dependent on you. It gets tiring and overwhelming. And so we don't want to put more stress on our partners by making them feel like they have to entertain us or take care of us or whatever the case may be. So just making sure that you keep your hobbies, the things that you did before you were in a relationship with them, the friends that you have, things like that, like still hang out with your friends, still do the hobbies that you were doing before that you were invested into, because if you start become dependent on that person, like I said, it's going to feel overwhelming for them, but it also doesn't feel good for you because if your spouse starts to, if they get a new hobby or they go do something without you, then you're left there feeling alone and feeling dependent on someone. And it can just be not a great feeling. So that's why it's healthy to have some separate things that you do that is fun for you. The second thing is to take care of yourself. So this can kind of go into the first one. For instance, if you want to take care of yourself, one of the things that you might be doing is going to the gym or playing pickleball or going to play volleyball with a rec league with your friends, whatever. And things like that can be part of the first one, like I said, where you're doing things independently. So there's a few different parts of taking care of yourself. The 3 big ones are physically, mentally, and emotionally. So physically, obviously, you want to stay fit, you want to stay attractive, you want to feel attractive for your partner because honestly, it just radiates confidence, not only in yourself, but in your relationship. You just feel better all around when you are physically taking care of yourself. Things like that can be obviously going to the gym, playing a sport or whatever, or even just walking outside. Like that is so healthy for physical and mental and emotional. It loops all 3 in together. But also just going to get your hair done, going to get your nails done, little things like that that kind of pamper yourself and make you feel more like a woman. You just feel happier and glowier, if you will. And then the same thing with mental and emotional, of course, they kind of are tied together, obviously. But just making sure that you're taking time for yourself to decompress after work or whatever, just handling your junk is what I call it, what me and my friends call it, handling your junk. You want to make sure that you are good and you're not pouring these things over into your partner and your relationship. Of course, talking about them can be good, but you just don't want to make sure you want to make sure that you are not just bringing them down all the time with negative things. If you can address those things and work through those things by yourself, then it can be helpful to the relationship. And that it leads me to my next point, which I forgot off the top of my head. What was it? Oh, being vulnerable. Being vulnerable with each other is so good because it builds emotional connection. And so when you're able to be vulnerable with your partner, telling them your fears, telling them maybe a weird dream that you had, or just things that you wouldn't tell just anybody, So again, being vulnerable, it really connects you guys and it can make your partner feel special because they are, right? And another thing I like to do that creates emotional intimacy is just putting your phones away. Oh my gosh, they're just glued to our hands and our neck is just always just looking down like this. If you can't tell, that's a pet peeve of mine. But truly, we are just on those dang things so much. And so if you've ever been talking to someone and they get on your phone, how does that make you feel? Like I always just feel like I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Like it feels so disrespectful to a degree, you know, and it feels like they're only halfway listening. And so imagine if you do that to your partner. It just doesn't feel very good. So, and of course, there's so many people that have heard the rule, treat people how you want to be treated. And I don't want people getting on their phones when I'm talking to them. So it's best not to do it with your partner. It just builds so much more emotional connection if you can put the phones away and actually give your partner your full attention. The next one I absolutely love. It's so fun. It's just surprising him with little things. So that could look like just writing a little note and putting it in his truck or in his lunchbox for the day, or maybe cooking his favorite dinner that he gets to come home to. It just shows some appreciation for your partner, and it's just cute, and it kind of just sparks things and just keeps the relationship alive and fun and not so routine and boring, you know? It's just fun. You should try it. If you never have, I encourage you to try one thing sporadic this week with your partner. And the fifth thing, not the 10th thing, the fifth thing, my absolute favorite, because it is, like I said in the beginning, I think this is the golden nugget, man. And a lot of women don't understand this. So let me break it down for you real quick. So women, we love to be loved. That's what we want in life, right? And of course, most people do. But for men, they would rather be respected than loved. Let that sink in for a second, okay? They want to be respected rather than loved. So one way that you can respect your husband is by not criticizing him or correcting him in front of people. And what I've found for myself is sometimes it's helpful to just try and stay quieter and softer. If I just am quiet and like let him tell a story and not interrupt, and don't tell him he's wrong, or that wasn't Tuesday, that was Friday. Who cares? And also, not only not correcting or criticizing him in front of people, but instead build him up. Talk good about him. I know it's so easy to be a complainer, not even just about your spouse, but just about anything. But if you can focus on all the positives of your spouse instead of the negatives, because there are always going to be negatives about anybody, anything, any situation. There's always negatives. But if you can shift your mind and try and just think positively, it is so helpful. And honestly, that will change your life, not only in your relationship, but just in life in general. Being positive is just so much better than being negative. And if you haven't ever tried to shift your way of thinking into more positivity, I encourage you to also try that this week. So that's it, guys. Those are the 5 ways to make your husband absolutely adore you and just fall head over heels in love with you again, and really just strengthen your relationship and your bond and feel more on each other's team. Okay, I hope you guys have the best day ever. Bye. See you in the next one.